Alara,
Alex,
and today we're just going to be doing a stone haul. This is part one, so this is actually going to be Alex talking about her previous stone haul.
Yeah, from a couple weeks ago.
Because I don't think I was there with you.
No, you were there, but you just...
Oh yeah, I didn't buy anything.
Yeah, she was just like,
I'm telling you. This is the first time in years that I've gone to that particular store.
Way to make me feel bad, like I'm
and
shopping
did not
all this
leave
stuff.
with a thing.
Yeah.
I felt so strange.
Yeah, she was like, I'm not feeling it.
No, I mean, I didn't get any heat, I didn't get any tingles, I didn't get any come home. Nope, nothing.
That was terrible.
So yeah, this one is just going to be her talking about this haul from the previous time, and then we're going to have a part two, which is going to be the haul that we both did today, where I may have done a little bit of damage for me. I did some damage.
Just a little bit.
So,
yeah, because she has definitely more control when it comes to shopping.
Gotta love that Virgo frugality.
Yeah, no, like today, like we're gonna mention this again, but at the store, this is Power of the Rainbow hauls. Both of them will be that. They give you little trays. Most stone shops give you like a little tray just so you don't have
It's like a little jewelry tray.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep them in your hand and you don't drop anything because they don't want you breaking their stuff before you buy it.
But I found that is so dangerous because you won't even be looking down at it. You'll just be like, ooh, this feels good, or oh, I really like, and things will just magically make it onto your tray, and then you get to the end and you look down and you've got like 20 stones. You're like, oh my god, what is all this?
And so you know, like, and then I told her today, I was like, once something is in the tray, it does not leave the tray.
That makes no sense to me.
It's like Fight Club. You don't talk about it. It's already there.
Okay, because my whole thing is I magically get drawn to things, and a lot of things I'll get a hit off of, and it'll go into the tray at the very end. I look down, there's all these stones. I was like, okay.
She does math.
I start doing math, and I was like, okay, what can I do without? What can I not live with? And I start making like two little piles, and I'll like start like, okay, this is $5, this is $10, okay, this is, and I'm start tallying it up, and then I start like breaking. I was like, okay, I can, I've already got a piece of that that's gonna go back, or next time, you know, just like, it saves me in the long run.
It does, but I'm just like sitting here like, wow, way to make me feel like a big spender. And then we only go when she needs to go.
And you're the one that finds everything.
And then like last time we're like, oh, let's go. And then she'd buy a thing, and I'm over here spending. I don't even remember how much I spent. Probably $50 in, $50 a day.
That's pretty standard for you.
Yeah, $50, man. Like that's a lot.
At the most, I do like 30 or 40, and that's only if I'm getting a bracelet along with whatever else that I get. Or like a piece, because I think you've had a couple pieces. Or a very like big piece, which I do very, very rarely. Most of the time, my things are smaller, either tumbled stones for pocket carrying, or I do a bunch of tiny little pieces for grid work, or for putting in particular spells or potions.
And that's going to be a lot more in the other video.
And that's what you're going to see in
That's what she bought a lot of. All right, first thing I got that day was what she stole and she's been currently mooching on is a piece of blue chalcedony.
This is really, really nice, guys.
I like shaped stuff, so I have a couple spheres. That one kind of reminded me of like a teardrop or a water drop, and then it being blue just kind of worked.
Look at it. I mean, you can. It's
almost see through. It's almost like glass. It's almost like opalite, almost in that sense of how it feels. But chalcedonies in general just feel great. Like I have a piece of pink chalcedony, which I also got there, but that one was more expensive. I think that one was $40.
Like it's mirror smooth. But at the same time, it's got this really nice, like, softness to the smoothness. Like, it's not hard in the way that it feels.
And then the other good thing about that store is they all know their stuff, and they all label their stuff.
Yeah, so every little stone is going to go into a little baggie, and it gets labeled the name, and it gets the price at the bottom, and then...
Yeah, that piece was a little expensive. That was a $20 piece.
And then every single purchase that you make, they send you home with a pamphlet, and like we mentioned before, it's
a good chunk of what they got.
Yeah, it's a good chunk of what it is, and there's got to be at least
a good chunk on there.
I'm gonna say there's at least over 100 stones. in this pamphlet.
And this one's a little beat up. It is not that beat up when they give it to you.
No.
It is a piece of good-looking paper.
But it's a really good quick reference. I still have a pamphlet that they give me I use for quick reference all the time. Like, years later, I'm still using it because
it's just good to have. And it's a quick reference, too. It's not something you have to, like, go digging through books and stuff. This video, we're not going to go too deep into what things are necessarily, because we are going to do more stone videos, and that one's for sure going to be in one of those, along with the pink chalcedony, probably, just to show. Because the pink looks just like that, but pink. Like, it is just a very smooth, kind of creamy color. That's kind of how they feel. They feel kind of creamy.
They do.
If stones could be creamy, because that's kind of a weird word for stones.
It's almost like a non-liquid lotion.
Yeah,
it's very luxurious. It's very...
And I think they also have purple chalcedony, but those shapes didn't... Like, the ones they have are squarish, and they just didn't...
Well, I have my purple chalcedony.
Oh, you do?
The bird. Remember the one that looked like a bird?
I think I remember that a little bit, actually.
We'll talk about it when we get to chalcedony. But
that's going to be in that video, too. But so we're not going to get too deep into the metaphysical or anything. It's just, we're going to show it up and kind of talk about it.
And just talk about our visit. Because, you know, otherwise... This video would be like 2 or 3 hours long.
Yeah, it'd be a lot longer than it already is.
Y'all ain't got that kind of patience for us.
It's already going to be
I don't have that kind of patience for us.
The next piece is Howlite. So
I love Howlite.
There we go. There's more shadow right there. So that one, I think, is the very first piece of Howlite I've ever owned.
Oh, really?
Actually.
I have so much Howlite. I use it a lot for my grid work. And I've made bracelets out of it. And then, like I showed y'all when we did our favorite stone video... I also mixed it with Amazonite for my prayer, for my meditation.
Beads.
Yeah. But, I don't know. There's just something about Howlite that it's a very good foundational stone. So, I have a bunch of different pieces of Howlite that I use for a whole bunch of different things. So, but I'm actually kind of surprised that you got one. That's not normally something that you would gravitate towards.
I think it's something I've been meaning to have, because, like, I have, like, a pretty extensive collection.
Yeah.
And I don't have a whole lot of the same thing. Things that I have multiple pieces of either come in just very unique shades or shapes or something, and I just get drawn to a few at a time. Like, for instance, one of the things I have... 2 now, but if I can never find the first one I bought, I'd have 3 are fairy crosses. And each one is unique. Like, no 2 are the same, so...
Is that the stone that has, like, the mark?
It looks... Well, it's shaped kind of like an X.
Okay.
It's kind of weird.
I know which one you're talking about, yeah.
And he doesn't get a lot of them, because he's had the same little bowl, like, since I moved back.
Jeez.
And I bought 2 of them, like, when I came to visit that one time.
Oh.
Yeah, like, so it's been the same bowl, so he was telling me that last time that they're getting harder to find. But yeah, so that's going to be another video, because fairy crosses are quite interesting, because it gets a little more religious. You would think fairy cross would mean something more magical, but it's actually kind of religious in a Christian kind of sense, and it's a little strange, and I'm like, oh, cool. Moving on. Next one is blue gold tiger's eye, which I liked the shade of it, and I think it was another shape thing where it just felt...
Oh, blue tiger's eye?
But there was enough gold in it to where it's not 100%. It's just... It's somewhere in between, but see.
Oh, yeah.
So
which I really like tiger's eye.
So, oh man, that is not going to show up on
It's not going to catch the shimmer, I think. It's probably not going to get that sheen.
Because, like,
would it help if I...
we have light, but the light's coming in at a weird angle. Sorry, folks.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see it right there where it's kind of banded almost. There's some stripes to it. But, so, tiger's eye, comes in multiple colors, and I think blue tiger's eye is normally hawk's eye, isn't it?
Yes.
So, you can find it in, I'm pretty sure it's hawk's eye, because I have a piece of where it's, like, deep, like, it's all blue, and then the bottom of it is brownish black. And it comes in, like, the gold tiger's eye, and it comes in red, too.
I've seen tiger's eye in gold, blue, and red. And I'm not sure, but there may also be a green tiger's eye, but don't quote me on that one.
Yeah, so they're all kind of the same thing. I think there might be different minerals that make them the different colors, obviously. But, they're all kind of like tiger's eye, hawkeye. They're all kind of pieces. Oh, I got a piece of actual just tiger's eye that day. I forgot. So we can kind of show you the difference. That one had more blue to it, but remember this piece?
Oh yeah, I really like that one because it's
a weird piece.
It's very unusual for tiger's eye because normally tiger's eye
very thin.
Is never cut that thin because it takes out the sheen, the shimmer.
And you can kind of see right there where it's striped, where it's kind of shimmery. But I just thought it was neat.
But it's very rare to find them cut that thin because people don't want to do that because it cuts the shimmer out of it, which is why people love Tiger's Eye, which I actually really like it.
I thought it was I liked it because it was like a unique piece. Honestly.
It's very unique. It's Tiger's Eye, but it's like that matte gloss to it. But when you play, play with it in light,
it right into the light, you get a shimmer that almost makes it look. I thought it was transparent. It is kind of transparent, actually.
It is a little bit. You can see a little bit of light coming through.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that, unfortunately, because we're getting light from one side of the room here.
You can kind of see a little bit here and there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there where the light is shining through it, which that's really interesting. And I've never seen Tiger's Eye cut like that. But
and I actually put this one back. Like, I picked it up 2 different times. That was like one of the only times I've actually put a piece back because, in the bowl of Tiger's Eye, it was all priced out the same. So they had better pieces for the same price, and I don't remember how much. This one was $3, so it's not like it was like a crazy price, but I'm like,
if you're gonna pay $3, you would think you would get one that, like, if they got something this big.
Yeah, size wise, and some of the Tiger's Eye, I think they were like that big. I think they're the same size, but not thin. They were like chunky.
That feels really nice.
But yeah, I was like, and I put it back, and then we were both looking at that kind of area of the store, and then I picked it up, and I was like, nah, because the last time this is why I don't put the back anymore, because one of the very last times I saw something and I really liked a piece of it, but it was expensive, and I was like, I'm going to think about it. The guy came in and bought, like, the whole bowl. Dang. It was of dandruffite or something. It looks kind of like root beer. It's kind of like a deep kind of brownish color, and it looks like it's shattered, but it's not quite. You know what
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, it's excuse me, something like that. And it was like this beautiful piece, and I think it was about 20, but I was like, This guy literally comes in, swoops up, takes like 6 pieces of it, and in the pile goes like the piece I wanted, and I was like, tears. I was devastated. I was like, nope, never again. So I don't put anything back till like I leave the store, and most of the times it's coming home with me anyway.
I very rarely ever see you put anything back.
Yep, nope. So that was that piece. Oh, your couch almost ate my stuff. All right, this
couch.
Right?
Hey, dude.
She's so cute.
She's just chilling out. I'm telling you.
She's just cute and calm over there. Surprised she's not like more focused over here. This is a piece of Infinite, which I had never seen before till that day. So I don't. Sorry.
I think Infinite is in the same strain as Serpentine.
I could see that because it kind of has like that little band of kind of like
seems like I remember
yellowish
somewhere else.
Green. So it's kind of like this weird grayish, greenish, yellowish.
Which often with Serpentine, it's much more yellow green. It's much of a brighter, stark color.
This one, they had different sizes, different pieces, and I think I like this one specifically because it was so gray, actually. Because I think they had pieces that had more of the yellow banded through it.
It's a really pleasant feeling. That's very healing.
I forget. Yeah, again, we're not going to talk about too much stuff.
Sorry.
But because I don't even remember what Infinite's good for, to be honest. That's another reason why we're not doing the metaphysical stuff, because a lot of the stuff I bought this time and for part 2, I'm not overly familiar with it, because every time I go, I normally pick up different stuff. Stuff I've either heard about and have wanted, or if I'm there and something just really catches my eye. And
that's the big difference between the two of us, is the fact that you always pick up something different. It's very rarely ever the same thing, unless it's obsidian.
Yeah.
But you always get like the bigger pieces, and they're almost always like pocket rocks or something like that is what I call them. They're like, you keep them in your pocket. They're good to carry around with you. And I'm the exact opposite, where I buy much the same stones again and again and again, because I use them often for hands-on things. Like I put them in different grids, and then I also put them in different spells that I'm doing, and I consider them to be used. They stay in that purpose. I don't repurpose them. So, they're always like really tiny, small pieces. Yeah. Like at the most, they'll be like yay big. Oh, she must have seen a squirrel.
Oh boy,
she loves squirrels.
But yeah, and then I don't broom closet as much as she does. Just because I don't know, like,
Oops, run away, Chalcedony.
Thanks, woman.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I just, you know, I've never really had to hide it, and then stuff that I feel like I need to be more wary of kind of is small enough to get put away. So that's another reason I don't think I do grids as much, because I don't really have space for grids, honestly, with how much stuff I've got.
I make space.
Yeah, so I do want to get into gridding because I do wood burning, and I do want to do my own grid at some point, but hasn't happened yet. Last piece, actually, this is the last one.
Oh, is it really the last one?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because that day, that was most...
This was the big ticket item.
Yeah, that was $20. I'm sure y'all saw the picture.
I consider this to be money well spent.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, stop that.
She got excited.
Come here, baby.
Yeah, I might as well pick her up. Oh, she's picking you up. Calm down, child.
She loves you.
She does. So yeah, again, this was $20. Chalcedony, once it's a bigger piece, is not cheap. Because they did have other pieces that were, the rough stuff, I think they were at $8, and they were like dime quarter size. Yeah. And then anything about this big, those were $8, and I think they had some smaller polished pieces for about $10. Anything about this big is about $20. So, and then, like I said, anything I spend $20 or more on is typically something that really calls out to me. Okay. Something I obviously really need, or something I just really enjoy. Like the obsidian I showed last time in our favorites video was $20, but it's a big piece. It's something I carry around a lot. I've moved with it. I've traveled with it. It's in my bag a lot. So I've definitely gotten $20 worth out of it, for sure, like right away. But the last piece I got, was a piece of picture jasper, and it's kind of like a little, it's a worry stone. It's carved out to look like that. I just thought it looked neat.
I love Jasper's worry stone.
So, it wasn't even, this is probably one of the pieces that I got solely just like, it looks pretty. Like, it just looks real neat, because I don't really work a lot with Jasper in general.
Mm-mm. That's more my thing.
Yeah, it's definitely more my thing.
But
that just looked like a scenery or something, like a desert kind of landscape.
I can see the mountains in the distance and like the desert
and on both sides cool. It's pretty neat. And so like they had a little tray of worry stones, and I'm like, okay, that one's cool. So I just picked this one up. I've had a few worry stones over the years that I found, especially metaphysical stores. The very first worry stone I ever bought was the best worry stone I've ever owned, and I dropped it, and it shattered.
Oh, okay. What was it?
I think it was just a piece of quartz. Like, it wasn't anything fancy. I got it at, the Enchanted Forest.
Oh,
they had, like, a little basket of little worry stones.
Yeah, I remember that.
And they weren't even expensive, but, like, it just, like, it clicked. Like, it fit my thumb, like, perfectly, and it was just the right kind of smooth.
Ooh.
And then I was in a rush somewhere, and it fell out of my pocket, and it just shattered down one side. Oh. And I still have it to this day, though, and I literally pick it up, and it still feels the best. And it just kills me, because I can't really use it, because it shattered on one side, and I'm just like, it hurts my heart. But yeah, so that was pretty much it for that time. Again, I'm sure that time was $50, just because this one was $20, plus all the other little stuff.
Like I said, it's not like I didn't try to come home with something. It's just nothing called. And to watch you wandering around and just like one after another, things making it into the tray.
Yeah, and then she's talked about it a lot. She gets like feeling where I don't. And she just walks around the table, feel the stones. And she's like, And she just makes like a little like, face. And I'm just like, what's going on?
I don't know. I wonder if my mojo was off that day. I didn't get a hit of nothing.
It might have been. But yeah, so that was our video for part 1 of big old rock hauls. So
stay tuned for part 2, where we're doing the haul that we got from today from the same store. And she
got a couple things.
I got some things to show.
And she'll go more into like the repeating thing too. But yeah. Toodaloo.